I'm good. Just so you know, I am recording if that's okay with you.
Yep, that's fine with me.
All right. So tell me something that's troubling you or a decision that you have to make soon.
Well, it's not really soon, but I guess it's still a big decision. Whether or not I should be going to grad school or not. I got accepted to one recently from a recent interview. So I still have to consider, like, I'm still in the process of getting accepted into other schools, but um, I don't know. It's a big decision I have to make because it's a lot of money and a lot of time and effort. So I want to make sure I make the right decision.
So what are you going to grad school for?
I'm going to grad school for a PsyD, which is kind of like the applied version of a PhD. You're actually helping people one on one. You're not really research focused. So yeah, I'm going there for PsyD in clinical psychology, which is kind of my shtick.
Um. So why is this such a big decision if you should be going to grad school if you've already applied to a few and got accepted to another?
It's a big decision because, like I said, it's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy. Um, and it's like a really big investment. And, I'll have to take out a lot of loans to pay for it because it's like maybe $250,000 in debt by the time I graduate from there. So it's definitely something that I have to be very conscientious of and make sure I'm able and okay with taking on that much debt and still studying without having a job.
How does it all make you feel? Like, is this affecting everyday life for you? Is it just constantly weighing on you? How are you feeling about it?
Um, it's kind of surreal to be honest. Like I never actually thought I'd get accepted even to a single grad school. Like there's a lot of talented people that I'm going up against, and the acceptance rate's like 2%. Um, and so for me to even get accepted into one, I still can't believe like I was able to do it. So I think some part of me thought I never would have to make this decision because I wouldn't be able to go, but I got in. So I'm still very much surprised, and it's something that's weighing heavily on me because I don't want to end up like forcing myself into a bad situation. But on the other hand, I do think this is a good experience, and if there's any time to actually make a really big mistake, I think it's in your early 20s because you have the time to fix it, and not completely jeopardize your entire future.
So are you planning on going out of state or well, are all of your schools out of state that you're applying to or
So there's like 70 different PsyD programs in the country, and the one I got accepted into is Chaminade University out in Hawaii. So that's one. Another one is Wright State, which is in Dayton, Ohio. There's GWU and Chicago School of Professional Psychology. Both of those are within DC. And then the last one in my top school is Loyola University of Maryland, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. So that would be like 2 hours away, but not terrible.
so distance pretty much has no effect on whether or not you're going to go or not.
I mean, I definitely think I prefer going. It just so happens that the schools that are closer to me are definitely better than the ones further away. Obviously, if I go to Hawaii, there's a lot I have to consider. It is a pretty cool to go to Hawaii if I want to break and just chill on the beach, but not too much. I'm willing to flex on the location, but I will say at least going to Hawaii since my parents want to retire there, I would be around more family and my some other families in Hawaii as well, so I wouldn't have to worry about that.
So you said that your parents are retiring. They want to retire to Hawaii. So are they supportive of your decision to go to grad school?
Um, I'm sure they are. They're supportive of me, period. But at the same time, I think they kind of set me on autopilot mode a lot, kind of like, oh, just do your thing because you can kind of take care of things. But at the end of the day, I think this is really my big decision, my own decision to make, because I'm also kind of old enough to make this decision. But I don't know. They are definitely supportive of my desire to go to grad school.
So you said you're going for your PsyD. Have you ever considered maybe getting your master's first and then maybe waiting a couple of years?
Yeah, so one of the routes that I thought about was, given that there's a PsyD program, usually doctorate programs after 2 years you earn your master's within the program. So if I were to decide to go through to a master's route, I would probably think about just going through a PsyD program, because after 2 years, if I really think I don't want to do it, I'll just leave and I'll still have my master's. On the other hand, if I'm in the middle of a PsyD program and after 2 years I'm like, I can still keep going, then I'll just finish out the last 3 years and I won't have to worry about reapplying to a PsyD program, which is a lot more competitive than a master's. And I think that, master's programs, as great as they are, again, they're hard and they don't really transfer over. So if I went to a master's program first, I would basically add on 2 more years on top of the 5 years that I have to go to college, to grad school. So it's just more time. And in my opinion, it's not worth it. And it's more money and more debt.
Okay. I think that we've covered a lot. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. It's good.
All right. Cool. So, I guess I'll do my interview of you then.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me just double check. All right. And let's go. Hi, Kat. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I just want to check with you. Is it okay that I record this interview?
Yes.
Awesome. And also, I just want to let you know and confirm with you, is it okay that I take notes, and I'd be willing to provide you with a copy of the notes after, if that's something you'd like?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fantastic. So, Kat, tell me, what would you like to discuss during this session? Is there any conflict that you're facing, any major decisions that you need to think about?
So, my boyfriend and I just recently bought a house about 20 minutes west of where we live currently. It's in a very suburban/urban area compared to bumfuck nowhere where we are right now, literally Amish country. So not only are the demographics different for us, but I mean, we've been living together for 2 years now, but we've been living with each other's parents. So now that we're going out totally independently, and that's kind of scary. But also at the same time, I'm kind of having doubts on whether or not I want to live with him, because he's already shown some pretty negative habits. I guess I'll just go with that.
Well, it sounds to me like, obviously this is a major decision. I mean, you guys bought a house, and it's a fantastic step forward, if we look at it as a positive. But like you said, I'm sensing that you're feeling a little apprehension toward this entire ordeal. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
And you said that you were a little bit scared about being independent from your parents, and especially with regard to at least your boyfriend's habits, as you will.
Yeah. So we started out living with my parents, and then we both went to college, but I was living on campus and he went back to live with his parents. And then like 3 months later, I started living with him at his parents. So we've been living there since like 2018. And we're financially independent for the most part. Like we buy our own groceries and shit. He pays his car payment, his student loans, everything. It's just, I've always had attachment problems with my parents. So, moving 5 minutes down the road wasn't a big deal, but moving 20 minutes into a busy city is pretty drastic.
Right. Tell me more about kind of the conflict that you're having regarding just his habits. Because especially given it's you two just living alone. Go into that a bit. Like, what are you really worried about? And is there anything what are your thoughts?
So he has really bad untreated OCD, and he refuses to get treatment. He got treatment once before in our relationship, and it only lasted, well, twice. He got it once, and it only lasted a month. He took Prozac for like a month, and he was like, "This isn't working. I'm done." So then I tried to push him again. I found a different doctor for him, and he tried it again for a month, tried the pills for a week, and he's like, "I'm not doing this. This is stupid. It's not working. I'm done." And since then, he won't get treatment, and his OCD causes him to change clothes frequently. So every time he changes his clothes, the laundry pile gets bigger, and he doesn't do laundry. And every time I tell him like he needs to get help, and he goes into these angry outbursts, and they're scary. I'm afraid he's gonna hurt himself. He's already damaged a lot of stuff. Every time I ask him to like get help, he's like, "Well, I'm fixing it all myself. You're supposed to help me." And it's like, it's not my job. I'm not your therapist. I'm not your mom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you care about him a lot. I mean, I can tell like, this is something that's weighing heavy on you. But, like you said, you can only do so much. You can't really force someone, right? And no matter how much we do that, you know, it's still hard to kind of fight our desire to help them, and really, care for them. Because again, he's your boyfriend, 2 years, long time, getting your own house together. I mean, it's a big step. And if I don't think that you would make those steps, make this commitment without, at least having some strong feeling for him. And it shows through your dedication to actually help him, going to a doctor's appointment, helping him set up, counseling. I think, that's something that you should always consider. But it sounds like you do want to continue living with him and moving on. That's right, correct?
I don't really, I don't, living with him is hard. It's been hard since we started living together. He doesn't really put in a lot of effort to like keep everything clean, and kind of just leaves it up to me, and like gives me the excuse that he's tired, he's had a hard day at work, and I'm like, well, I'm a full-time student and I'm working almost every day, so, and I'm still doing all this shit for you. So right. It's like, do I want to keep living like this? I don't. I really don't, but there's like part of me that still thinks that he'll get better once he moves out, but I don't know.
So in regards to like, I guess, hoping that he gets better, you've already taken on so much, and I think, it's important for us to take care of ourselves as much as we take care of the ones that we love. You, again, full-time student, which is a crazy thing, especially you're a junior, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, junior year is insane. And you're working all the time. I mean, I think that you need to consider just taking time for yourself and kind of recuperating, and so that way, because I think you do deserve the fact that, it's okay to be selfish every now and then. It's okay to care about yourself. Like your boyfriend said, he's taking care of him. He needs to take care of himself, take his own time. I think it's the same for you. What do you think about that?
Honestly, this is all that my actual therapist has told me, so it's like everyone's telling me the same thing. But I mean, he's being selfish in his own way, and I'm kind of being too generous, I think. I think it's just like that kind of fear of, moving on to someone else, or, something else, or, the fear of leaving everything that you've known for the past 3 years behind.
Here's another question. Do you think that it's self-care for us to take just a few minutes for ourselves every day to just decompress?
Oh, no, absolutely not. But he takes it to like as soon as he gets home, and then doesn't do anything.
Do you think it's selfish for us to actually enact self-care?
You know.
So do you think it would be selfish for you to actually just take a few minutes for yourself every day and just kind of, relax and kind of decompress and step away from maybe some of the responsibilities that you have placed on yourself? Because, I think that no one is innately telling you, hey, you need to take care of your boyfriend. You need to do this. Because to me, it sounds like you're placing all this incredible responsibility, job, student, care, helping your boyfriend, Like, what do you think about that?
I like to think that I give myself enough time, but subconsciously I know that I'm not. Like, I know that I'm constantly worrying about outside issues, and I'm not giving myself enough time to recuperate and kind of build myself back up.
Yeah. And I think the fact that you're able to recognize that, recognize what you have done, recognize how hard you work, is a form of self-care. I think that's a great first step to moving toward fixing, essentially, or alleviating some of the pressure. The first step to fixing any problem is recognizing that there's a problem. And I think that by you simply noticing that, it's a beneficial step forward and saying, hey, let me take another step back and let me know that this is going to be okay and that I've done so much already. I think I can do another thing and another thing until you're finally into a place where you're comfortable saying, hey, I have my own needs, and I'm in this relationship where there's two people. There's not just one, right? And both people need to be at their 100% to be able to evenly contribute. What do you think about that?
I have to agree with you.
Okay, Kat. Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about during the session?
Nope, I'm all good.
Awesome. All right. Sweet.
All right, I'm gonna stop.
What's up?
I said I'm gonna stop recording.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right. Feedback for you. I think you did a really great job kind of moving through each step that we had. It felt like it wasn't really too like, oh, next one. It was like really even keeled, and it really didn't kind of deviate from a conversation, which I found was really smooth. You might want to work on kind of just detail. You did it really well in the beginning, but try to really dig into like every single detail, because there's a lot of things that people say that they don't say, if that makes sense. So maybe you might want to consider that in the future if you interview. But other than that, I actually enjoyed it. 'Cause I found like after a while, I was like, oh, I'm talking and not shutting, so I better let her ask some questions.
Oh yeah, for you, I mean, it felt like I was talking to my actual therapist. Like, it was. I mean, I've been having these conversations with my therapist for like the past 3 weeks, and now it's just like, wow, everyone's telling me the same thing. All right. So I mean, it was really good. It felt really natural. I was really comfortable. I felt like I didn't mean to overshare as much, like with
No
all
worries.
that. And so I mean, it was just really good. And yeah, you were definitely going back with like how I was feeling, restoring, kind of just like summarizing and just asking how I was like feeling. I just felt really comfortable, and it was really natural.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the feedback section. So yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you.
Yeah.